Greetings programs, and welcome to a slightly unusual video today. I'm going to show you behind the curtain, as it were. Now, this has been brought on by, there's been some news today, and YouTube has unveiled that they are going to do a kind of a subscription-based model in addition to the kind of the free ad-based model. And I think they're basically going to do what Spotify does, and you're going to have a free ad-supported service. Just anyone can, you know, what's there now, basically. Anyone can watch any video, and it's all ad-supported, although, you know, there's ad block as well as an issue, but I might come to that. And then they're going to have a $10 a month subscription, and like Spotify, you pay your money and you get an ad-free service, essentially. And that money is then divvied up by YouTube to the people whose videos you're actually watching. Now, there's a bit of a carrot and a stick thing here. YouTube are promising, obviously, it's too early to say how this is going to work out, you know, how many people are going to sign up for this, but the idea that YouTube has is that they will entice people to be accepting of this from the content creation side, because potentially it might mean better income from the videos that we put up. But the stick is that you have to sign up, essentially, or else bow out of YouTube, because if you don't agree to the terms of this new subscription thing they're doing, all your videos will be automatically set to private. So it really is like, if you want to keep doing this on YouTube, you really don't have any choice other than to say, yes, okay, I'm fine with my videos being used with this new subscription model. So, okay, how it's going to work is you'll pay your $10 a month, you don't get ads, and that $10 a month is kind of divvied up between the videos that you're actually watching, and it's not very clear how they're going to apportion that money exactly. It seems to be that it'll be based on the amount of time you spend watching a video. So if you've got a bunch of videos and people are watching like only 10% of those videos, you're not going to get much for those videos. But if you've got people who are watching 60, 70, 80% of those videos, then you're going to make a bit more. But it's not clear how YouTube is going to actually apportion this money between different types of channels. So they might favor, I don't know, they might favor people doing one video a week sketch comedy channels, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this means for channels that do more regular content, more kind of, I mean, I don't exactly do daily content myself. I try to do, but I miss days here and there for reasons. But I've not seen anyone be particularly positive about this so far, and I can understand some of the reasons they're coming up with, but honestly, I think it's just too early to say how this is going to affect the future of YouTube. But this brings me on to the other thing that I want to talk about, that I've been mulling over for a while, and that is Patreon. And a bunch of people have said to me, why don't you do Patreon? Well, I've had some issues with it in my head up till now, but I'm going to show you some numbers first before I talk about Patreon. So this is my YouTube account here. If I go into Video Manager, and I can see how many, I'm approaching 23k subs, it's not bad. And I can see how many views I've got. And if I go into Analytics, well, I'm going to first talk about Adblock, because I think it's worth mentioning, and I've seen other people mention it on their channels, but what exactly Adblock means to us YouTube content creators, and the fact that ad block is so prevalent is probably a very big factor in YouTube rolling out this new subscription model, because they're just not, the number of people blocking ads has gotten to the point where people are willing to pay less for advertising space, and so everybody's advertising revenue has gone down. So this is my page where I can see all the everything, and it's kind of like an overview page. But what we're interested in here is estimated earnings, ad performance, and my views. So I'm going to start off with views. And I can see how many views my videos got in the last month. So nearly 113,000. It's not bad, I guess. I have no idea. I have no idea what the comparison is. You know, these are just numbers that seem impressive to me. But anyway, just because they're big numbers, and I guess they'll get bigger as the channel grows. Hopefully it will keep growing, we'll see. But right, 113,000 is the operative number from this page, and then we'll look at ad performance. Right, this is entirely the entirety of the money generated by ads. that's about a third. In fact, I think that's slightly under a third. So 2/3 of people who are watching my my videos are either using ad block or they're just not getting served ads because there aren't any ads to give them in their region or whatever. So it's big. I mean, that's only a third of the views, less than a third of the views that I get actually generate any money for me. And I've talked about money stuff before. I've talked about how I would like to do this as a full-time thing. My current situation is that I make a little bit from YouTube, and the rest, the money I live on is from state benefits essentially while I'm looking for work, and the type of benefit I'm on means that I have to keep looking for work. And if I get offered a job, if it's a 40-hour-a-week job, I have to take it. Or else I lose my benefits and then I don't have anything to live on. So if I'm then doing a 40-hour-a-week job, that's goodbye YouTube. So I'm at the point where I'd quite like to do YouTube as a full-time thing, because I'm essentially doing it as a full-time job, more or less. Most days of the week I'm sitting down and doing a video or doing video stuff or doing a bit of pre-production or whatever. Because to put it into context, I mean, I don't know... I didn't have an appreciation of the work that can be involved with a video. Like Jingles has mentioned, like his more edited ones, Mingles with the Jingles, he can spend a whole day just doing 6-7 hours doing just one video. And I don't tend to spend that long unless I'm doing one of my Q&D videos. Those can take that long because they're essentially the same thing. But even a shorter video, let's say a 10-minute video, you've got the time spent recording it, and presuming that all goes well, that I don't need to re-record it, I then have to and what I do, by the way, is I record the video and audio separately these days, because YouTube, not YouTube, World of Tanks replays especially have been a little bit wonky lately. It's usually easier to go and record the replay, and then in the editing software, once I've loaded the video into the editing software, I then record my audio portion, the bit where I blather over it. And at that point, I have to go and do a bunch of transcoding of the video as well. I've got to do some pre-processing before I can actually put the video into the editing software, which is just some codec incompatibility issues that unfortunately my editing software has. So that's fun. With the longer videos, it's like 20 minutes, 30-minute video. It might be an hour of transcoding time, depending on the settings I use. So the time all adds up, and then I've got to do all the editing, and then doing all the screenshots for my World of Tanks videos. That can actually be quite time-consuming. And then you've got to render it, and again, longer videos take longer to render because I'm using a different render setting. That means they are lower quality, but they are... I can upload them because, as we all know, my internet's not very good, so that's another factor. And then once that's all rendered, I've then got 12-hour plus upload time, during which my internet's not really usable for much else. I can watch YouTube videos, or actually no, I can't. I can surf the web, but I can't really do anything that involves online anything. So that totally ties up my internet while I'm uploading as well. So there's a lot of downtime involved with it potentially 2 or 3 hours, depending on the length of the video, including the processing time, and potentially longer if you something like Crusader Kings 2 videos are probably kind of 4 to 5 hours. So it's all quite time consuming, and I don't think I didn't appreciate how time consuming it would be, but the amount of money I get back for that time, it's not very much. So I mean, this looks all right. That's the total ad revenue. If I look at estimated earnings from that third, that's what I get. And then my MCN takes a cut. I'm with Curse. I only lose 10% to them, and it's kind of like insurance these days. It used to be if you wanted to do any kind of video content at all, you had to have an MCN. That was your carte blanche to make video content. And then YouTube made some changes because people were abusing the heck out of that system, unfortunately, which kind of ruined it for everyone else. But what that means these days is that the onus is on the content creator to check that the game they're putting up, that's fine, unless there are fair use exceptions. So if I was doing a video critic content, like if I was doing exclusively game reviews or other kinds of critical content like that, that's covered under fair use. Or if I was doing news reportage content, that would be fair use. So it doesn't apply in that circumstance. But for what I'm doing, which is closer to a Let's Play channel essentially, I have to be careful about what games I use. So for instance, Nintendo would never ever get any space on my channel, but they've gone out of their ways to piss off a lot of people. But that's a very obvious and easy example to say, right, Nintendo would never get because. Whereas Minecraft, you know, you get developers, well, Minecraft owned by Microsoft, but they're still very friendly towards people using their game to make content. Paradox games, they're very amenable to people making videos of their content and sharing their games that way. So, you know, there are developers out there, publishers out there who recognize this is a good thing. But I could ditch my MCN even tomorrow, and it wouldn't, you know, I get an extra $16 out of that, you know, just from this month. But the thing is, it's kind of an insurance policy. Like if I get hit by a copyright claim, I mean, content ID claims aren't so bad, but copyright strikes are the bad one. And if I get hit by that, and I don't have anyone to go to and say, well, plus help, then, you know, that could be a very bad thing for the channel indeed. So that's why I've stuck with Cursed. That's why I haven't ditched them, even though I don't have a lot of interaction with them. It's good from my point of view, in my eyes, that they're there, that if I have issues, I can go back to them and say I have problems here with something. So MCNs aren't not that necessary these days, but there are other ones that take, you know, much bigger cuts, like 30, 40, 50% cuts. So yeah, if I was in that position, I'd be making even less. You know, this is just like what's from YouTube's, that's kind of like the estimated thing of what I'll be getting, and then it's minus the 10% for Curse, so it's not even that amount. But that's not enough to live on. Even if it was plus 10%, that's not enough to live on. So I'm at the point where I would like to do this as a full-time thing, and so I'm thinking about Patreon specifically. And I have once in the past, I put out a call for an appeal really for donations when I was upgrading my computer last, and at the time I explained why I was uncomfortable about making it a regular thing, like making donations a regular thing, because I want to. Ideally, I would, you know, everyone would whitelist YouTube, and the ad revenue would be enough. Ideally, like if everybody turned off their ad block when watching videos on YouTube, all the content creators would be much happier, much happier. I can tell you that. I mean, Google would be happier as well, but you're not only taking money from Google, you're taking money from us, the video makers. So, you know, I'll just throw this little appeal in there, you know, turn off ad block, at least for YouTube, it helps us a great deal. But if that was double, that would still not quite be enough for me to live on, but it would be better. But the reason why I've been reluctant to consider Patreon in the past is that I don't know what much more I have to give back specifically, and I don't want to just say, hey, give me money for this thing that I'm doing anyway. But it's reaching the point where I want to do this as a full-time thing, and just relying on the ad revenue isn't enough. And if I have to go and like having a job and doing YouTube at the same time, it would vastly, even if it was a part-time job, it would vastly cut into the amount of content I would be able to produce, just because, as I've explained, making the videos is not a particularly quick or easy process. It's not just a matter of record the replay, upload to YouTube. It's a bit more complicated than that. There's a bit more editing and a bit more processing and all that kind of thing going on, so it's quite time-consuming. But I like doing this, and I want to keep doing this, and so I'm not going to immediately say, hey, I've got a Patreon, give me some money. What I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to say, what kind of things would you like to see me give back? Like the idea that I've had, the only real idea that I've had so far is that I would say, right, I would have donation slots of a certain level, like say, I don't even know, like $60, $70, $80 a month, and I have like say 10 of those just as a random number, so like 10 hours a week where I spend playing games with the people who have made that level of donation. So that would be like you pay me X dollars a month, and then I give you some of my time back, and we play games or we do whatever. And I guess I could make it so that Patreon, you know, you can also, if you just want to donate $2 a month, then that's fine, you can do that as well. But I didn't want it to be just like, here I have this Patreon, just give me some money and I'm not doing anything extra for it. So but I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear, like, does $60 sound like too little, or does $80 sound like too much? Or I don't know, I'm kind of like flying blind here. So it's going to be interesting for me to see your feedback, and it's going to be interesting for me to, because I've had people in the past suggest, you know, why don't you do Patreon? And I'm kind of finally at the point where I was thinking about it anyway, but this news about the changes to YouTube, it's kind of spurred me on to thinking, right, if I want to actually do this as a thing, I would quite like to be off benefits, just because it would be nice to be fully paying my own way through life, as it were. But also, the nature of the benefits I'm on means if I get offered a job, I have to take that job, and that's RIP a lot of my YouTube time. So yeah, I'd like to keep doing this, and there seem to be enough of you out there that like what I'm doing that I thought this is probably a good time to sit down and record this. And I know it's been a bit rambling, but I'm hoping that there's enough people out there that like what I'm doing. And you know, I get the appeal of being able to directly support somebody. I've been reluctant to say, hey, give me money, but at the same time, if there are people out there that think I would be willing to support this awesome, amazing pointy-haired Jedi guy for that amount a month, or even throw a couple of dollars a month at him to help him keep doing what he's doing, then yeah, so this is kind of like, this is very exploratory. I'm seeing what the level of interest is, because this is not enough. This is definitely not enough for what I if I want to keep doing this as a thing. So yeah, there we go. This was I was kind of reluctant to make this video, but I'm kind of I can't really think of any other way to keep doing this, to actually make a living out of it, because I've come into YouTube. I've been doing this nearly 2 years now. It just occurred to me, like, this June, something like that, it'll be 2 years since I started doing videos. They've not been monetized that long, but yeah, it's coming up for that length of time now, and I don't know. It's a thing I've really enjoyed doing, and I would like to keep on doing it. I would vastly prefer doing this, because I'm having fun making videos for YouTube. You know, it's work, but I'm having fun doing it, and I'd rather do something that's work and that I'm having fun doing than be working in a chip shop or doing some kind of minimum wage job in a supermarket or something like that. You know, I'd much rather be doing something with my life where I feel like I'm producing entertainment for you guys. You know, I'm doing something that's making other people happy, and being able to make a living off it at the same time. That's a fairly nice life goal to have, I think, and maybe you can help me with that. I don't know, but we'll see. So I'm very interested to see what the feedback will be. This is not a definite Patreon announcement yet. This is just kind of, are there people out there willing to help me with this kind of thing? So yeah, so comments below. Like I said, very interested to see the feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Once again, please consider whitelisting YouTube with your ad block, because you're not just helping me, you're helping all of the content creators that you watch, if so. And I think that's just about it. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and you know, leave comments below, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, stay tuned for more.